Okay guys, welcome back. Today will be a tutorial on how you can do the windmill to handstand nice and easy, right? Obviously, very good combo to have if you want to do windmill 90, windmill air flare. This combo helps a lot, right? So let's get into it, guys. Whenever you do power moves, try to stretch as much as you can, guys. This is very important. Other than that, for this move, you obviously need both the windmill and the handstand at the very least, but it's better if you can do 90, 2000, air flare, star walk, all these moves up there, right? This will help you out a lot. So, of course, you can practice both at the same time, there's no problem there. So, I did a tutorial on head mill. I'll gloss over this move for you guys because it's a very simple concept. If you can do the windmill with the freeze or without hand, I suggest working on this head mill, if you cannot do it yet at least. So, the head mill is where you stand on your forehead, more or less on your hairline. And what you will do is you will roll sideways, collapse your legs, and go back to the same position. See that? So this you can do multiple times on your own. When you do this move, try to not go all the way on your head. So you start like a head spin. Try to stay more or less on the forehead, on your hairline. So that's the good spot to stand. If you go too high up, you might fly into a head spin. In this case, that's not what you want, right? So let me show you guys this move a couple of times and try to check that I don't go so circular like normal, but more sideways. I push and roll to the side. So on that head, push, head, push, head, push, head, right? So after you get this move down, you can easily do combos with windmill by using this stance. So for instance, when I'm in that headstand, I simply push up. In this case, we're talking about the handstand. I simply go from my headstand to my handstand. So from this part right here, just push, right? And when you do this push, try to push rapidly. It's not wrong to do it slow, but if you have trouble getting up there, that's probably because you push very slow. And you can use your hips a little bit to kip, to push up. Try to push up towards the roof, obviously, and not somewhere in a direction, because then you fly all over the place. So let's combine these two, and then slowly do that same head mill, but stop on our head, and then push up to the handstand. Try not to wait too long, otherwise you fly sort of out. And you sort of need to get the timing down a little bit. But in a sense, this is very easy to do. So when I go here, roll, here, push. See that? So that's how you push to the handstand from that headstand. I suggest practicing this very slow in the beginning, especially if you can already do that. Eventually, you can use a little bit more power in the same move. Back in the day, this is how I actually started windmill to 90. And after I got it with the head, in 2 weeks I did it without my head touching actually. So I think it's a very good and solid way to start practicing it. Because unlike the other method, which we will explain in a minute, this method makes sure that your body is up instead of angled, which makes this move way easier. Also, you don't need so much power and speed for this one, because you just go to your head, which is an easier method. So I suggest, especially if you're not that good and don't have so much power in your windmill and everything, try to practice this method. Collapse your legs on top of you and try to push them up to the roof to go to your head. And then as your head reaches the floor, try to push out to a handstand. Or, well, if you want to do a move after it, let's say the 90, the 2000, something like that, you still use the same technique, but as you go to the handstand, you sort of stop moving. So in that case, it's probably better to push, and right before you reach that handstand, already push in the move you want to do. Air flare, whatever, right? It doesn't matter which move that is, but if you try to go to a 90, go to a 90 and not a handstand. Obviously, the windmill handstand is the basic, so get that down first. So take a look again at that same method. I'll try to do it again. By the way, you don't have to go from standing in this one, but as beginning, it's easier. Eventually, you just learn to do it without hands, etc. But this is just the beginning to start learning it, right? So try to go a little bit slow. Pull up, and push, right? Push to the handstand like that. That's the way. Now, if you can do that method, I feel, you know what's good about it is that it's so solid. It's of course not too clean because you have that head. Like I said, I did it like that, and after a while I could do it without the head. But that's one very solid way, I think. But that's not the only way, of course. So if you can already do the swipe and the windmill, and even better, the windmill to the swipe, This is a very good exercise to do. Obviously you can't use the freeze in this, but when I'm standing, I use again, not circular, but rolling more forward, pushing out and doing a swipe. Because, well, you don't need to swipe for this, but you need to understand this push basically. What I do, I'll try to go slow motion, pull left, up, like that. In this case, I'll do a swipe first, because that's way easier than going all the way to the handstand, right? So from here, pull left, swipe, pull left, swipe, right? This is a very good, well, it's sort of an indication that you understand the move. So there's two ways to practice this one. The most important one is that when you collapse, similar to the head mill, but you need way more power, and it's at the last second. Also, I really suggest, yet again, to roll as sideways as you can. Now, if you don't roll sideways more in a circle, what will happen is you place your hands, you push up, but your body will keep spinning. And what will happen, you might end up in a handstand. But either your hands are very close together, or they're actually crossed, which makes it almost impossible to do a move, right? So in that case, actually better to keep at least the left arm closer and rolling to the side instead of going so circular. That's the way, but after you got it, right, it's like always, like, okay, I can barely do the move, but I can do it. Then you keep practicing, You're using this move all the time to do all kinds of combos. Eventually, you can just do fast barrel mills, pop into handstand and go to your next move. But for now, this is the way. Roll sideways, not circular. So what we're going to do is, instead of going to the swipe, what we try to do is actually kind of the same technique, but go more up. So instead of pushing out like a swipe, you push up. And you have to think of it like, okay, I need to go to the handstand, so I need to push up. If I'm right here, I can never go to a handstand, so I need to push my arms up as I go. Other than that, it's pretty much the same technique. So a simple way to practice is actually going up and dropping back into a windmill many, many times. But I'll show it once so you guys can see. So going from here, handstand, see that? From there, like I said, if you want to do a move, you see me going into the handstand, but sort of getting stuck there. But if you want to do a move, you have to throw the move. And then the last exercise, which I suggest you do after you sort of got the first one, just do the same thing many, many times in a row. Just basically windmill to handstand many times, right? So you can actually practice there. So you're going from here, try to get the bounce, and up, and up, and up, right? This is how you slowly learn to control this move. Obviously, you need to understand the windmill to head spin, the head mill, and you need to understand the timing of this bounce. This will make the bounce up easier. I think the headstand to 90, the headstand to up is the easiest and most controlled method, but obviously not the dopest one, because of course you want to see people fly up like that. But practice both a little bit, focus. As a beginner, I suggest focusing on that headstand up, because it's so simple. If you're already very good at windmill, you can already do windmill headspin, windmill swipe. You can try the other method. See you next time.